sweetie. Judith is busily preparing our morning repast. Peeling lanzones, and what are those guys?
Mangosteen.
Mangosteen. Both citrus fruits, the mangosteens, are quite yummy, but they're a little weird. They have sections in them just like an orange, but the seed is only in one section, and it's the biggest section. Quite tasty. They have a citrus flavor reminiscent to me of kind of a combination of a tangerine and pink grapefruit. Good afternoon. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon on Monday, the 7th. Monday the 7th. Anyway, it's a beautiful day. The wind is blowing quite strong from the southwest. And last night, a plumbing part decided to tear on the engine. And I was able to make shift repairs on it. But this morning, as we were approaching Negros or Sigagor, I was still deciding where to go exactly. The wind this morning about 9:30 or so really started to pick up. It had been blowing about 8 or 10 knots from basically about the southwest. Well, in a span of about an hour, it went from that speed up to 25 knots. And the seas were building, start to look like they were going to get up around 6 feet. Well, my course was basically southwest or directly into the wind. And for those of you who don't know much about sailboats do not go under sail straight into the wind. And 25 knots and 4 to 6 foot seas, using the motor, which is an auxiliary motor. It's not like a power boat where it's the main propulsion for the boat. Just not a real practical option. So a little bit later in the day, in the morning, I altered course and started heading directly towards Sigagor. But the wind continued blowing quite strong. The seas kept building up. And I went down and inspected the fitting that I kind of jury-rigged on the motor, and it was leaking again. Not as severely as it had in the nighttime. But I decided it would be a wiser course of action to head back to Carmen rather than go to Negros because of parts availability. Not sure I'll be able to get a new part anywhere in the Philippines, but if I can get it, it'll probably be through the engine dealer in Cebu, and the part will come down from Manila. And it's just one of those kinds of odd things that you can't really make a part out of other parts to make this thing work. Later on, I'll show a picture of the part. It's a rubber casting and it's used in the cooling system of the engine. I thought I had 4 spare parts, but when I took a new one out, which was actually from the last engine that I had in the boat, and tried to put it on this engine, I discovered that part of it was too small in diameter to fit, and no amount of forcing or hammering or anything else was going to make it work. So then I went from having 4 spare parts to having 0 spare parts of that particular type, and really no way to fix it aboard. I don't think it can be fixed. It's a tear in the rubber. I put some crazy glue on it, which helped to hold it together, and a bunch of tape, but it's not a long-term solution. I really need a new part. What I'm looking at out there is behold. So now, a couple hours ago, because the wind is blowing quite strong and the right direction, from the right direction to go back to Carmen, I decided to take advantage of the wind so I don't have to run the motor and head back to Carmen. Presumably, we'll probably get there sometime tomorrow morning. Anyway, like I said, it's a beautiful day. There's some cloud cover, a lot of blue sky, quite strong wind. It's still blowing 20 knots. Seas are running up in the range of about 4 foot. White caps everywhere. Over that way, of course, is Cebu. That's to the west because we're going pretty much north. Back that way is Sikajor, which I was headed that way for a while. And over there, off in the distance, hiding under the cloud cover, is Negros. Notice there's a couple of pretty large mountains over there, upwards of around 2,000 meters, I would guess. Anyway, it's a beautiful day, and now that we're going with the wind instead of against it, it's a very pleasant day for sailing. It's about 6:30 in the morning on Tuesday, September the 8th. And here we are once again at the north end of the pass between Mactan Island and the islands of Behold. The sun's behind me, so get a pretty nice view along the southeast coastline of Mactan Island. See lots of big fancy buildings there. Way off in the distance is that one that's under construction. Looks like it's going to be another beautiful day. Too bad we had to return to Carmen, but I didn't want to take a chance of getting stranded down there in one of those small islands with a parts failure on the engine that being in a place like that would make it very difficult transportation-wise to get somewhere where I might be able to find that part to get it back to the boat. Of course, that's the end of Mactan Island, that peninsula. And off that way, about 15 miles or so, is Carmen. It's about due north from our current location.